Hello and welcome to 10 Very Big Books, a Malazan Readthrough podcast. I'm your current host today, Josh. With me, as always, is the intrepid real host of our show, Pete Bond. Pete Bond, how you doing today?
I'm doing all right. Thank you for having me, Josh. It's so great to be on the pod.
And Peter, I hear you have a new book out. Can you give me some of that? What's it called again?
Sure, it's called 10 Things You Will Not Believe. And the thing is this, you're going to have to buy the books to find out, you know? But you can find them anywhere.
Remarkable title. And behind the scenes is, of course, AJ. AJ, show me those dance moves.
I'm dancing. Look at me go.
Oh,
whoa, I just did a flip.
Oh,
whoa, AJ!
Oh my gosh.
That was really cool, AJ.
I'm impressed myself. Thank you.
And hot.
And, of course, here, off to the side, leading the band, that's right, phenom on the soprano saxophone, India Jones.
Yeah. Hello, everyone.
Wow. This intro's got a great energy.
Yeah,
Wow.
I'm really happy. It started because I thought of Space Jam, and I thought of, you know, how he talks at the beginning. Well, I was listening to the Sledding with Tigers Space Jam concept album yesterday.
Okay.
As you do, and I had it in my head, the beginning of how he says, ladies, and that's just how that bit came.
I just, not Josh, not to cut in, but I do have a quick query I wanted to bring to the pod. And just a quick disclaimer, has nothing to do with the show we talk about or the works of Steven Erikson.
Okay.
I would just love to know what your guys' thoughts are about what the sexiest candy is.
Oh, sexiest candy.
Is this because of that new M&M? Is that why you're asking?
I thought that too.
That's so funny. I meant to eat as a person, but you can
See,
you
that's
mean
not
the
what you
sexiest to
asked.
eat. I was really thinking about the shapes of candies just now.
Okay, yeah, that's not what I meant, but
I think there's something about runts that is like inherently horny.
Wow.
Yeah, I can see
Just
that.
you know?
Runts have a horny name, that's for sure.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Runts is my favorite type of flower.
Oh, shit.
Is that type of flower?
She means weed, Peter.
Come on, Pete.
Okay, embarrassing for me. Okay, I feel like
It's legal in New York.
This is
You
a
don't have to be.
This is
It's really good.
wow.
What's your answer, Pete? I mean, you asked the question.
It's
Do you
gotta
have
be
a...
something with honey. That's where I'm at right now. I'm kind of stuck there.
Can I offer you a hot take?
Oh,
Okay.
God.
Is it bubble tape?
No.
I wouldn't call bubble tape candy.
that's
That's
so
gum.
unsexy.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
gobbling
Okay.
down some tape.
May as well have a fucking yo-yo. I mean, like, what are you even doing?
Let me just slurp one 10-foot strand of spaghetti. Isn't this
Yeah,
hot?
yeah.
Come back in 2 minutes when I'm done.
I've never seen anything less sexy.
Yeah,
and
right.
then you're like all the while chewing, drooling.
As your mouth fills up and you can no longer breathe because you're chewing on 10 feet of bubble gum.
That sounds really got me, AJ. Pete's over here like nothing sexier than a fucking hoagie. Like, that's the kind of opinions you're bringing right now.
Literally. That's the hottest take I've ever heard. That's the hottest take this show has ever heard.
Vinegar is the hottest condiment. Yeah.
Okay, but at the end, you have the elastic tape thing, and like maybe you want to put that on your bookshelf or something. I don't know.
What
I
about
haven't seen
what
this
even
show
about
since
that
middle
is sexy?
school.
Yeah, what about
That's
bookshelves
so
is
hot.
sexy?
I love putting stuff
We know
on...
you just got a bookshelf and you're
You
very happy
always
about
give
that. but-
sexy librarian.
Okay, I'm sorry I ever brought this question up or tried to share a little bit about myself in this world before I die, okay? Sorry I put myself out there and was vulnerable, okay? And look at
Wow.
how I'm treated by the three of you.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Maybe it's Starbursts.
Oh, I could get behind
Guys,
Starburst.
what the fuck?
Well, okay, yeah. Okay, now the more I think about it, it's kind of a similar bubble tape issue because you're just got like chewy candy in your mouth. Just
Yeah,
like,
but it's like tart and it makes your face kind of go like, like that kind
Now,
of.
so we talk about the one that is sexiest for you yourself to eat or the sexiest to see someone else eat.
All right. The thing that's coming to my mind, I'm sorry, I just need to say this before you
Please.
finish. Twizzler.
Oh.
I was also thinking Twizzler.
Because you can separate it like really slowly
And you can
too
like,
if you wanted
you know,
to.
like swing it around,
Yeah.
like
If you're into like some BDSM stuff, yeah.
right, like take a bite and pull it away, all sexy. You know, I'm
Yeah.
visualizing
Okay,
it.
but here, let me take that up the next level.
No.
Nerds Row.
Absolutely not.
Too much crunch.
Yeah, too bumpy.
All right, let me take that up the next level. Jawbreakers.
A resounding silence on the
Okay.
We're thinking about it. We're
It
thinking about it.
wasn't a no.
It's not a no.
It's just a
It called for pause.
Yeah. Just really quick, just a quick aside while we're on like string-shaped candy. Cowtails, absolutely not, right?
Okay,
No,
wrong.
no.
Cowtails. No, I think that's a very sexy candy.
Absolutely
Okay,
not. By the name
Absolutely
alone,
not. If
cowtail,
you can
all I'm
buy
thinking
it
of is ass.
If you can buy it
cow
at
ass.
the front of a goddamn gas station, like checkout line, not sexy.
Josh only
Okay.
wants Ferrero Rocher.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
Oh,
All of a sudden,
Rocher.
Josh
Hell
is
yeah.
too good for a Twix bar. Don't bring a Three
No,
Musketeers named
hold on.
Josh.
That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying you've been to a shitty gas station and they've got that fucking bucket of cowtails. Not sexy.
That's true.
Just we're gonna listen. Okay, I know we should talk about Malazan. That's why we're here in a sense. But
Do we all know the
Makes
fun
sense.
fact though? I do want to say I have
that's why I was placed on this goddamn earth. Okay, to
Yeah.
make this show.
Do we all know the fun fact though about runts? It's like I love sharing the fun fact about runts.
Please.
The banana in runts,
Yeah.
and how you eat it, and you're like, that's not what bananas taste like. It's because actually it's based on the previous dominant type of banana that went extinct in like the 1950s, and we don't have anymore. But that
There you go.
is what bananas did taste like.
Wow.
Do you know runts? Another thing about them is that's like a weed thing. It's like for the flower.
Peter,
Whoa,
I don't
no
think you've
way.
ever smoked weed. Damn, if you type in runts banana, first 80,000 fucking links are on weed.
Nice.
They're all about it.
Nice.
That's so funny.
It's the best. It's the best.
Damn, these weed websites are really funny named. I'm gonna laugh at this for hours.
Check the show
All
notes
right.
for every weed website.
Yeah.
All right, let's talk about the dust of dreams.
Just
All
really
right.
quickly before we talk about the Dust of Dreams, I didn't know that this is what rents were, like the candy.
There you go.
Those little guys, yeah.
Oh wow, India didn't know about runs too. How embarrassing!
Serving runts? Is that anything?
Damn.
All right.
I love this pod.
All right, let's get into
All
it.
right. We're at our best when we're just fucking talking about weed.
Yeah.
Chapter 17. We begin, as all great stories do, with a return to the miles-long chain of starving and dying children wandering through the weird glass desert. Badal makes some incredibly cool observations on the nature of godhood and why an action feels so powerful. Rut is at his breaking point, but Badal has seen a city of glass at the end of the road. They must get there before the quitters catch them. Talani Mass from clans long since forgotten rise up, answering a call they cannot help but respond to. They question the purpose of the call, and speak of the great expanse of time over which these clans were spread from each other. One knows that they are called by the first sword, and must march with Tool to vengeance. Tak, Satak, and Tool's children rest at a cairn. Sensing the newly arisen Talani Mass, Tak wonders what will happen if Tool simply chooses to dismiss them. Tak and Satak, gosh, that's a confusing combo of names, speak on the desires of the wolves, and how they may play into things. Totally had forgotten that Tak was pledged to the wolf gods. That was 6 books ago. He leaves to hunt for food, as Tool's son summons an undead A to protect the small family, because all weird kids in this universe can do magic. While hunting, Tak speaks with the undead Jagat, who laugh a lot. They contemplate finding a new enemy to kill, and have some great lines on nostalgia. Upon returning, Tak likens the eye to the eye he had in Book 3, which we of course all definitely remembered. We peek into the mind of Scepter Oculus, who dreads the coming battle with the Barghest. Nonetheless, the Akroni prepare for battle. Back with the Barghest, the action picks up. We see through the eyes of Esteril, the wife of the man Bakel's wife was cheating on him with, who was going to die the night that Meryl Ebb took over, until Bakel killed his wife and her husband. I hope that sentence was as confusing to hear as it was to write. Bakel and Strahl scheme, and they need Esteril's help. She will take Catan to the edge of camp tonight, where Bakel will clear a path for her to get to Kefal. It will take a lot of luck, and will be dangerous for all involved. She agrees. We also hear from Esteril why the Barghest women are so eager to hobble one another, and it's truly dark shit. That night, things go wrong. Esteril gets Hitan to the edge of camp, but Bakel loses his life while clearing the path. Esteril sends Hitan towards her brother, but is killed as she returns to camp. Kafel is struck and killed from behind. Hitan, or the shell of what remains of her, lies down and freezes to death. Badal sees all this happen and speaks of a door opening. The armies wait for the dawn, when blood will be shed. So, we're back at the beginning of the book again, where we all started. We're in this weird desert. There's all these children. AJ, do you think this is purgatory? Because I, at this point, think it could be anything.
You know, I mean, we get some inkling at the end of the next chapter about it being something, but no, at this point, I'm like, maybe we're like really far in the past or something. Like, that's what I was thinking is like, we were going to get a reveal that like, we're actually, you know, 10th, like these are all Talane Mass children or something. And then they arrive at the ritual of Talan or something, you know, I don't
crazy.
know. So no, I had no inkling of what this is, but man, purgatory, maybe.
Yeah. Well, when, you know, Badal is starting to just have powers. You know, she's gone from weird to she is fully, it appears to be seeing what's happening elsewhere in the story.
Yeah.
And now she says she sees a weird glass city. Do you think she does? Do you think it's a city we know? I
don't think it's a city we know. Part of me feels like it is the jade stones poking out of the earth. Like they hit the earth and they're just like protruding out, and they, you know, whatever veil she's looking at this through, or like, you know, maybe she just doesn't know what jade is and she's like, oh, it's kind of a clear thing I can see through, that's glass. So maybe it's like a City of Oz type deal.
That's pretty sick. I had not thought of it being anything to do with the jade stuff. That'd be crazy.
Yeah, I'm just like, anytime there's anything I have a question, I'm like, well, how does this relate to the jade stuff? Because it's like
a fair point.
It's there, and like even in this chapter, the next one, like there's one line where it's like the jade tinged sand because of the lights from the thing, and that's it. We don't talk about it anymore. It's like that's the only thing. Just a little reminder, there is jade stuff going on.
Yeah,
but you're not allowed to know what it is.
Of course not. It streaks across the sky. Period.
Yeah. Josh, do you know who the quitters are?
Absolutely not.
That.
We don't. So like I feel like if you gave me all of the stuff about that we've had, all these kid sections, and I read it in one coherent sitting, I could maybe have an idea, but it's so spread out. The quitters are the adults, or the quitters came and that's what convinced the adults to not want the kids. It's something like that. Like I remember reading that 7 chapters ago or something.
Sure. Yeah. But
that's it. I mean, I feel like if this was another fantasy book, these kids would be from Kalance and they would be traveling across the wastelands, right? To me, this seems like they're going west, meaning they're coming from the east. All we know that is to the east is Kalance and the wastelands. But this is Malazan, so I truly do not know if that's going to happen, because that seems like it would be too obvious.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I'm like fully just like every time we come here, I'm like, I appreciate this as like its own little, you know, capsule story within the novel, but I cannot tell you how it connects to anything else.
It's beyond me for sure.
Yeah.
I just wanted to say, something I've been reflecting on, and I think it's one of my weaknesses because sometimes
biceps.
Wow, Josh.
You think bubble tape is candy?
Okay. Okay.
Under attack.
Is like, I love the weird dream logic of some of the stuff. Do you know what I mean? Or just like, it's like, what is going on? Oh, it's like, I don't know, really, you know? And I kind of love that fuzzy weirdness, and it feels, I don't know if that makes any sense, but I was thinking about it when we were talking about Badal.
Your weakness is that you like the weirdness?
Well, I don't think that's a weakness. I think it's because I just enjoy sitting in a fuzzy state of unknown.
Oh, yeah. I'm having a great time reading these sections, and I'm not trying to think too hard about how they connect to the story, but like it's definitely on my mind.
Yeah, I have no comment. I could no comment whatsoever.
Yeah.
So India, we get a whole new slew of Talani Mass.
I love this. I love that this one came to me.
Yes.
Yay.
How did you feel about the one who is grappling with a long past of sustained infidelity and whether she can just turn over a new leaf, not be that way anymore?
I love this question. Thank you for making this actually fun. You know what? I believe in change. These Talani Mass are, notoriously stubborn, I would say. I hate that there's new ones. What is this one? Is it Bitter? Let me look
Bitter
at the name.
Spring?
Bitter
I think
Spring.
It's Bitter Spring.
Yeah, it's a great name. But I'm also all for, live your damn life. So if she does change, good for her. But if she doesn't, go off, sis.
Wow, that's unconditional love.
Yeah.
At its finest.
Do you think there's a lot of affection amongst the Talani Mass?
I would say no. In fact,
Right?
it seems like they're all mad at each other all the time, or like business, like coworkers almost.
Yeah.
And the war that they're going toward.
Coworkers is really good.
Coworkers is, I really do, like, they're all at a perpetual faculty meeting. Like, that's where they're heading right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's an there's like a resentment, I feel, or like there's a coldness between how and the Talani Mass speak to each other sometimes.
Right. Kind of like coworkers.
Now, something that confuses me, and I don't know if Peter can enlighten me, is I feel like it seems as though there are like 2 or 3 clans here, and one of them is like fully separated in time from the others, because we hear about a second attempt at a ritual. But that group still knows of Onos Tolan. And that is what confuses me somewhat. Like, is there a group think? Like, how could this one group who's so far from the others, and it seems like wasn't undead maybe, how would they know who the first sword is?
Yeah, it's a lot of questions there, Josh. When you say separated, the only separated one that I can really think of are the low-gross Talani Mass. And that more has to do with their relationship to Kellanvet on the First Throne.
Yeah.
And I don't think there's a group think. And I mean, maybe if that's like, I guess in my mind, they all know he's the first sword because of some sort of spiritual thing, but I don't consider it a group think. I don't know. I don't really know how those titles work.
Yeah, exactly. Like, does
every Talani Mass in the world know that he's the first sword?
Exactly. That was kind of my confusion. I think I'm going to chalk it up to magic.
Yeah, there is one point where somebody says something about bone casters like being all connected.
Oh, that makes a lot of sense, AJ. They do have, yeah, okay.
But also, like, I think just the bone casters generally being connected to insert source of magic here.
Yeah, the Warren of Talon.
Yeah, probably have some sort of like, whether it's a divination thing or whether it's just like a Rolodex of people that's just like constantly switching out.
Hey, the fuck is a Rolodex? I always think it's a Rolex. Is it that thingy like in old offices where like it would have all the little contact
exactly
cards?
What it is.
100%. Yeah.
I've never seen someone do. AJ did a motion of like scrolling through something as he said Rolodex, and you've just unlocked what that word means for me. Thank you.
I'm very happy for you.
Yeah.
It's kind of like if you think like a big bubble tape.
No,
And then
yeah.
So you know what a bubble tape comes in, John.
So I'm gonna move past this. We get over now to Tak and Satak, who, as I've called out, terrible naming combo. and Tool's children. We've seen so many wolves in this book series. Do you think it's Mr. Erickson's favorite animal? That question goes to Peter.
I'm relieved that was going in a GPG range with the,
Wait, why?
yeah.
Well, no, Peter, I don't have
How
to
could it
ask if Mr. Erickson would like to put on a fursuit and
Well, see, I thought we were gonna.
I don't have to ask that
furry.
because I know that. All right, in my
There's nothing.
bones.
There's nothing inherently not G-rated about a person in a fursuit. Okay, just to get rid of those
Okay.
notions.
And Peter, like, my mind did not go there.
Well, Josh was saying it, and I thought he was gonna be like doing a goofy goof, ha ha. Do you know what I mean?
That's a little blue, even for me, Peter.
Wow.
There's
okay.
nothing inherently blue about fursuits.
Okay, you're right. A lot
I'm
of them
here
are
to
gray or
defend
orange.
furries.
Yeah, I agree.
That was a good joke, Josh.
I'm
Thank you.
team furry.
Thank you.
Wow. I did not think we were gonna get into this today.
You
Do you think that
brought
was going
us
to be like
here.
a crippled god thing?
That's I thought we were gonna get into
Yeah,
a
yeah,
crippled guy.
yeah.
That's correct.
When
I'm
Gano
like,
shows back up and he's in a giant wolf suit.
God.
Wow. Yeah, no, it's nice to check back in with them, and it's I mean, I don't know. I don't know if nice is the word. It's like, I guess, I mean, it's nice to have the closure with these characters, and with later when we kind of resolve the rest of the Barghast stuff, you know, it doesn't make me like relieved, but like knowing in a sense of how those storylines finish from before, it is a sense of resolution for this moment. You know what I mean?
And India, I don't know about you, but I know you're a big book 3 fan. Have always been, always will be. I felt a little sad when Talk was drawing the parallels between this group and his book 3 crew. And I actually like really kind of felt a really big pang of like, you know, absence of that was a really fun dynamic we had all the way back then. And I feel like we have not had that in this book, I would say.
I totally agree. I like that Talk and Tool's like relationship has withstood the tale of time. Right?
Test of time. Test
of time. Leave it. I want it there. I'm not perfect. The test of time.
She's no coward, AJ.
Okay, AJ, don't edit it out, okay?
Leave it, AJ. It's fine.
She's human like us, okay?
I got a cop. I was not paying attention. I was.
So I screamed, AJ.
I was back in the last scene, which I had some questions about, but we can get there when we're done this scene.
I hear you for sure. I really like that they're still friends. I love that he's helping out the little kids and their magic children, which is fascinating and weird. And yeah, I did feel a little bit of something, but also a lot of nothing.
I just want to say it before AJ. I love the quick line when he's just referencing Lady Envy, and he's like, "Oh, she like," and one of them loved a good bath or something like that.
Yeah,
Just
I
a fun
loved
line.
that.
That was a really nice line.
Loved that. Lady Envy is my favorite always, and
A raise of her perfect eyebrow or whatever.
yeah.
I'm gonna say, Steve writes a good character. You know, the fact that 6 books ago there was a character who was a tertiary plot line to that book, and I'm still like, damn, that was a good character. Kudos.
She's good.
Aj, what were we gonna say?
I just wanted to know if y'all thought, oh God, what's the baby's name? If you thought him saying blah 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 over and over again was Ublala Pung and not this wolf name.
Damn. Fuck me, what I love of Ublala Pung to just
This whole
erupt from
time
the
I was
earth.
like, well, the Barghast are like long, not long lost, but like, you know, down the lines of ancestry from the Toblakai. So maybe he's just like waiting for Ublala Pung to show up, but that did not happen. So there you go.
That would have been wild.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I'm gonna skip the Jackhood stuff. They're fun, you know.
They're there. They're having fun.
They
but,
are
you know,
there, yeah.
Now there's an undead wolf with a name that I can't pronounce still. So let's get into some Barghast stuff. Who here, as soon as we got this POV from Astara, was like, dead. because it just seems like we're so, we're 17 chapters in. I feel like we're at the point now where like if I'm seeing through someone's eyes, it's like a 78% chance they're dying that chapter.
I don't know. I kind of thought, like, we got all these new Talani Mass and stuff. I thought this was just like, here's a bunch of new characters that we're going to carry over into the next book. Just like dropping their names now so that they can come back in book 10 and like actually be characters.
I could see that.
But I don't know. Every time we get to one of these sections and like you ask a question like that, I'm like, well, yeah, we spent so much time with them and they just like showed up. So obviously their like storyline was going to die with them dead. But in the moment, I never think that.
Yeah.
Ever.
I was proven wrong though, because in the next, we don't know yet with Straw what their fate is. I guess we don't know for sure yet. This was. We've talked. We've had some discussions about the darkness of the Barghast storyline, and this was a pretty start to finish tough one. I like there's a part of me that wants to ask about our thoughts on Hitan's end. But I don't know if I can phrase a question that is respectful to that storyline, if that makes sense.
I have like kind of a general thought about it because I was thinking about it as I was reading it as well. Because at first I was like, oh, well, it sucks that she just like dies in the desert and like nobody knows, whatever. But then part of me was like, well, maybe this is like an act of mercy in some ways where it's like she gets to just like fall asleep and freeze to death instead of like being murdered by the Acronai when they raid the camp or whatever,
Yeah.
But yeah, that's really all I came away with it from.
It's a good plot. It's a good nuanced plot line because even Estarl was like, and what? She's gonna go with her brother and heal? They never heal. And I was like, that's honestly a really good point. I was like, in my head, I was like, are we gonna get this like long tortured plot line now? And so I had really mixed feelings about it all the way through to the end. Peter, did you have any thoughts, especially this being your second read of this?
Yeah, no, I think a lot about the ending of Helen's storyline and how it makes me the context I think it brings to the rest of it. But I'd be really curious to hear what India thinks.
Well, I don't know. I really was this whole scene was just very traumatic. This whole Hitan like storyline was super, super traumatic. I wasn't happy. Like obviously I wouldn't be happy, but I wasn't relieved with her ending. I don't think there's any like good part of it. I don't see a point in looking for the bright side in it. It was just like a very, very sad story and a very, very sad ending. And to not even like, what would her life have been if she did live? But like literally, but I just didn't see another way out though either. Like she was gonna die. It was just a matter of how she dies. And I guess you're right, AJ. Like at least it was like unceremonious. She just died. But it was so fucked up from start to finish. This whole storyline for her, absolutely devastating and so unexpected. So unexpected. Like from prior, like when we first met her to now, I just would have. I don't know. I just like it's insane to see a strong character that's completely. Literally left as just like a pulp of a person. Yeah,
she's just like fully dehumanized. Yeah.
Awful. Absolutely awful. So bad. But I'm glad I wasn't interested in reading any more scenes that were about her anyway. Like it's just so upsetting. So I'm kind of like, okay, all right, what's next? Let's move on, to be honest.
Yeah, I get that.
I did just want to say, I know this isn't what you guys are saying, but I think like her being alive is preferable to her being dead. Do you know what I mean?
I don't know though.
That's just
I get what you're saying, but also I don't know. There's like a line in here somewhere that says like the Hitan is like dead basically, and she is just like a body now, which I know is like just kind of figurative, but like we saw with like Janeth, that like. You can only heal so much, even if you can heal physically, she still has these like thoughts and stuff about her torture and assault and everything. And that's like, not to compare levels of torture, but like, that's like lower on.
Like obviously it's traumatized. I don't know. It's like obviously really deep trauma. I don't know. Part of me fears that it's like, is the message then that like, oh, you can't, that healing and recovery is impossible. Do you know what I mean? And I know that like, I don't know. I would like to believe in that. But I don't know. Does that make sense or am I making no sense?
Yeah, like her physical body, though, it's not like a mental recovery. There was no physical coming back from the trauma that was put through her body through. Like she couldn't even move. Like it's like a quality of life thing to me.
Yeah, I get what you're saying. I just wanted to share my thoughts is all. I'm not trying to change anyone's minds.
I'm trying to change your mind.
Yeah, and intense stuff.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for sure. So, I mean, and not to shy away from the issue, but there is this whole, in this section, there is this conversation with Astarl and Bakel or Straw, I can't remember which, about the purpose of hobbling and why. And it is like, the only thing I can say is it was interesting to see a character give a reason for it.
Mm-hmm.
And it was affecting. I don't know if we want to have a conversation on it. Probably not, but it was a lot.
No, yeah, I think like this part of the chapter is definitely just like asking us to consider like the societies in which stuff like this is allowed and or encouraged to happen, and like the things that lead to this. I'm not really sure I come away with anything outside of like, yeah, this is like in a society like this is how stuff would happen. And then like, even if there's like a few people who are like, well, maybe this isn't the way we should do it. There's still, the rest of the society or culture or whatever is like, no, this is the way. And then those voices get stamped out. And that's really all I kind of got from the like, I don't know, like holistic read of it, I guess, which I think is an interesting thing to observe and read about. Yeah, that's all I got.
I think we can probably move on from this into the next chapter.
Pete's making a face though.
We can talk for.
We don't have to get into it, but you are making a face.
I mean, it makes sense that we're continuing to talk about it to this extent,
Wait, Peter, keep your face like a little back.
Yeah, that was weird.
That was just the Skype. Yeah, that was
it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh,
sorry.
Because I was like, oh.
Yeah, it peaked hard for me.
Skype. Yeah, you're good. Keep going.
But no, AJ, I agreed with most of what you said. I mean, I think there's a lot of angles that you could talk about it through, and those comments at getting at what type of society does this happen in, and society and cultural things are interesting. As I've said before, I wish I knew more about that stuff. But
well, I think we'll move on from there into chapter 18, which features AJ's favorite part of the series so far. I can't wait to really dive into that.
Sorry, I don't want to keep dragging us back, but can we just like broadly talk about like, what did you think about, Josh? Like, what did you think about everything going so wrong at the end of this chapter? Like,
what else could happen?
Yeah. Okay. That's exactly how I feel.
It's Malazan, everything has to be messy all the time. So, and because that's what life is. Life's always messy. So
it definitely made I was definitely like surprised reading it, but I was like, oh, I guess this actually kind of makes sense.
Yeah. That's about it.
Thank you.
We good to move on?
Now we can move on to my favorite part of the book, but after we thank the patrons.
Thank you to everyone who supports us on Patreon. You really help us make the show more sustainable.
Special shout out to Devin, Steen, Zach, and Chris. Thank you all so much for your new contributions to the Patreon. Thank you also to just everybody who supports us on Patreon. It really does mean a lot, and you help make this show easier and more sustainable to make. So thank you so much. Should we move on now?
Yes. All right.
Okay.
Chapter 18. The Sheikh have arrived in Karkanos, but it is not what they pictured. The city is dead, though magic has kept it from truly decaying. Twilight tells her people to spread out and find shelter, reminding her witches to protect themselves from the magic of this place. She finds the watch in the great temple, where the blood was shed so long ago. The siblings speak of the legends that brought them here, that told the story of their people. There are many questions left unanswered, The most pressing of which is, who are we? Who were we? We learn more about the birth of light into the world. They decide to head to the true home of their people, the First Shore. The witches are found unconscious, succumbed to some strangeness. Sandaleth has a flashback as she looks down on the newly blind Galan the poet. He has gouged out his own eyes and looks to eat them whole. She sends her son, Orphantal, to find a priestess. She says a cool quote in her sleep, which wakes her and Withel up. He asks about her past, and she's very vague. Sounds like she's way more important than we first realized. Back in the weird dream Kachin Shamal hive, the ghost of Tarlok Veed is back with all his spitty-haired goodness. He sets out on the only mission he knows: murder. He starts with Nappet. In the hive, Sulkit the drone has done his job, and the others wait to see the results. Tok's group hasn't seen him in days. They head east, the direction he pointed them in. I'm sure they won't run into any of the other 80 groups traveling towards the wastelands. As they travel the forest, Twilight and the Watch are plagued by a terrible pressure, and fear for their lives and the lives of their people. They press on and arrive at the First Shore. The battle between Bargas and Akranai begins. With Bakul dead, Stroll turns to his Sinan brothers and sisters as their leader, and withdraws from the battle. Not this enemy, not this war. Fucking sick. The battle is joined, and it's going well for the Akranai. Both sides keep looking at the clouds. Then the entire fucking battlefield is frozen and also explodes. And yet no one tries to run away. Veed continues his murder spree. He arrives at the room with Tixillian and Featherwitch. They speak, and then all three turn to talk to Akarium's ghost. It's very trippy. They vanish, and he is reborn. Akarium takes his throne. A ton of stuff is revealed and explained at the First Shore, and yet it's also all very confusing and makes little sense. Good stuff. The water is light, and within it are trapped the Tisti Leosian, which explains why we've only ever seen like 10 of them. Silchus Ruin is apparently cool, and he's the one who saved the Sheikh. The Watch looks for Ruin's sword, which was thrown into the water by a lady. Spoiler, it's definitely Sandaleth. Is this the sword Rulad used? Unsure. It's called a Hust sword. Olar Ethel is being cryptic again, so Torrent leaves. He sees carriage tracks that seem to have come from the sky. That's right, folks. The Trigo Trade Guild, with Gruntle and Mappo. Sandaleth and Withel arrive at the city. She collapses, overwhelmed by the return of Mother Dark, who talks with Withel. Back at the battlefield, the ground erupts. Draconis is back.
Josh, you didn't want to leave in the
Sorry. You're right.
Yeah.
Back at the battlefield, the ground erupts. That's right, motherfuckers. Draconis is back.
I'll just throw like a heavy guitar on that.
Yeah. Really good. So I feel like, I don't know about you guys, but this is one of those chapters where when I was reading it, I was just like trying to get through to the end, and I was like, not really a lot happened. And then I had to sit down and write it, and I was like, nope, a lot happened.
Yeah, I had the exact same experience, you recounting it back at me. I was like, oh, shit.
Yeah, so many things.
Yeah.
Do we want to talk in order or just about like the main areas that things are happening in?
Yeah, let's go zone by zone.
Zone by zone. I want to start in the weird Kachin Shamal hive.
Okay, interesting.
Yes. And what I just want to say first off is when Terralok Veed showed up, it did not occur to me that he was really sent there by Ikariam himself to kill everyone else so that he could just awake from his nightmare and reclaim his throne or whatever the fuck happened. And I unfortunately live with my fiance who loves horror movies, and this is like all the shit that we are constantly watching right now is just like stuff that makes no sense, and at the end it's like it was all in your head. So I wasn't ready for that. I don't know how you guys felt about it. Peter, you want to say something?
I was gonna make a dumb joke. Don't worry.
Okay, all right. Anyone thoughts on this wild ride?
No, I mean, I was like, the why of it all, I don't know. That seems like very kind of like crippled God. Like, yeah, this was my plan the whole time.
The why is going to make me very mad if I do not get a good one later.
Josh, I don't think you're going to get a good one.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's just going to be one of those things that like happened because it was supposed to, you know? It's fate, baby. Mm-hmm. Josh is very pensively nodding.
I just like, if they were all ghosts the whole time, what have we been doing? You know?
Yeah, that's what's like, yeah, okay. You mean the larger why, not just the Terralak Veed part.
Yeah, no. I mean, like, why have we been reading about Ikariam as a ghost watching these guys if at the end they all turn and talk to him and then vanish like ghosts? Other than it's cool, you know?
I mean, Terralak Veed fully murders them all. Like,
no, he doesn't murder Texilian and Featherwitch. They all turn and look at Ikariam and then vanish.
Well, Texilian and Featherwitch is a ghost also, right?
Mm-mm.
No?
Featherwitch she was called Breath or whatever.
Yeah, I thought Breath was a ghost.
Mm-mm. No, she was there the whole time in body form with the other 7 of them.
Interesting.
Yeah, only Ikariam was a ghost.
This whole time I thought Breath was also a ghost. Man.
No, at the end, like there was, as far as we understood, corporeal Taxilian, Breath, and Terralak Veed.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know, man. It was cool, like you said, and we know that blood magic is good, and I guess soul magic is also good.
And Peter, when you read this the second time, what were your feelings on it?
Well, that's why that's why I was completely silent, because I really feel like I'm struggling to articulate any thought that isn't just like, the only thing I will say, separate from my thoughts revisiting the plot line, is that Josh, I know you're saying why are they there in that form, but it's like, I don't think like plot.
Uh-huh. So you're saying it's because of the plot?
My real worry is that Peter can't say that they're frustrated with it, because that would mean that we never think about these ghosts again for the rest of the book and next book.
No, all I'm saying is, regardless of the plot, which I have no comment on, themes, characters, I feel like I you know what? I'm just going to stop. I should have never started.
Okay.
Jesus Christ.
I'm so sorry.
Go to the Discord to see Peter try to put into words whatever they're thinking right now.
Yeah.
I will say Featherwitch just throwing the tiles over and over again and screaming, "This always works. This is what has to happen." Very satisfying. Big into that.
With coins, though, wasn't it?
No, it's tiles.
Didn't someone start throwing coins at some point?
I don't remember that.
All right. Fair enough. God damn it.
Like
I said, in every other time we come to these scenes, I have no fucking idea what's going on.
Yeah, well, so I guess the final question before we move on to another more possible to understand storyline is: do we think at the end of this that Ikariam is going to use the Kachin Shamal Warrens, or has he succeeded in creating something brand new?
They do say something at some point about like, it's the flavor you like or whatever. Like we Burger King have it your way, the Warrens for you. Maybe, you know what, Josh? I think, okay, here's my big prediction.
Oh, I'm so ready.
I think now Ikariam is going to bring back whatever the Warrens, the Kachin Shamal used, or equivalent to Warren. Mm-hmm. And then the Kachin Shamal that Caliph is with is gonna like they're all gonna just get super powerful and something that's gonna be fucking sick. That's what
AJ, part of me wonders. That was my thought too. Was like maybe they're gonna team up. Caliph and Icarium. You kidding me?
Yeah, I don't know, man.
Yeah,
It turns out the dinosaurs were the good guys all along.
Yeah. And the Earth's only 6,000 years old. So let's move on. I feel like the next, a real throwaway one is Torrent is leaving Olar Ethel and is going to find the Triggle Trade Guild because a carriage came from the sky. And if it's not the one with Mappo and Gruntle, then what are we doing? That's we saw them last book. They're the only ones we know of. It's got to be them. Anyone disagree? Yeah. All right. Good. And Satak and the gang are going somewhere. Okay. We've gone through those ones. All right. We can focus.
Okay.
Let's talk.
Shake, shake, shake.
Shake, shake, shake. Yes. Casey and the
Shake,
Sunshine
shake,
Band.
Shake,
Shake, shake, shake it.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Oh, okay. We're doing Metro
Shake it
Station.
off.
Shake it off.
Shake it
Shake
off.
it off.
Yeah.
Oh.
You shake it all about.
There you go.
Okay.
Ooh, that's the best one, I think.
I don't think I have any.
All right. So
No, oh my God. Shake it off. Shake, 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 shake it off. Mariah Carey. I'm gonna shake it off. You know, classic. Anyway, sorry. Yes, focused.
So India, the Shake, Carcanis, how did you feel about
Okay, Carcanis. What happened? Okay, did we ever, because that name, this is going to be really fucked up, guys, and I'm just going to say it now.
You're fine.
What happened to Carcanis?
Okay. The Tory read
Have we never been here? Have we just heard the name before?
Correct.
We've never
We've seen some flashbacks. The Tory read literally says in chapter 18 or 17 when talking about all these flashbacks from Sandalith. They literally
Wait,
write
can you repeat that? I'm so sorry.
the flashbacks from Sandalith where she's thinking about like the guy eating his own eyes. The Tory read literally writes, "I guess go read Forge of Darkness." That's their thoughts on this too. 'Cause
Nice.
it's so much. And the Forge of Darkness is the side one about Carcanis.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, Inch. I think a lot of this stuff is kind of opaque in that sense.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So no, it wasn't. It's just I was confused because I was like, why is it like why don't people live here? Really? Like, why is it?
Well,
look like
okay. So
this?
what we know, India. What we know. This most of this is from last book. This is where the Tistiandi are from. After whatever happened, that's the big question. Whatever they did to upset Mother Dark, whatever they did to ruin their society, there was a huge thing. A lot of people died. They left the city. The magic left the city. It's basically what we know.
Mm.
Oh.
And it's in the Warren of Darkness. Like it is like this is where the Tistiandi are from because they are the children of darkness.
Yes, correct.
Mm-hmm.
Corald Ghislaine.
Mm-hmm.
Coral Demerlane.
It's another one.
Yep.
Corald Leosian?
Starvald Demelane. Just naming Warrens.
Just having a fun time now, huh?
Just naming the Warrens, guys. That's fun.
Star
There's
something?
a Star
So are
one,
people
yeah.
moving? So people moved back to Carcanis.
So this is the Sheikh that we've been following this whole time as they've been trying to get to Carcanis because they are the descendants of someone from here, which has been the big question they've been asking themselves that we were too dumb to know to be asking ourselves, which is who the fuck are they descended from? Because they're clearly not Tistiandi. So
Tisti-Leosian.
And to be fair, we still don't have an answer to that question very well. We just know that they got shafted and left on the shore to fight the Leosian, but maybe also fight others. I don't know. It seems like they're descendants of Eater, maybe. It's a whole stunt.
Yeah, I just want to chime in here with the one thing I did like about this section. Josh alluded to like my favorite section of the book being here.
AJ said today, this talk between Twilight and the Watch, and then 80 snoring emojis.
Okay, it was like 3 or 4 snoring emojis. But yes, I was like, the beginning of it was like cool. I was like, great, cool, good. And then it was just like they kept going and going and going and talking and saying things and being upset. But the one cool thing out of this, I think, is the name Twilight for the queen or the princess or the ruler, whatever, is because like that is what they are in control of. That is what they are born out of, is this moment between light and dark. And like that's why they're Twilight. And then it was like, oh wait, no, I thought it was light and then darkness, and then the Eater came and they were kind of like a weird offshoot. And then the Watch is like, no, what are you talking about? It's been like this the whole time.
Yeah.
And it's like, my man, What are we doing?
Yeah, it's really interesting that there's like they've both been given half of the information, but I would say it really seems like the Watch got the better half.
He got
of
the better half.
information.
Yeah.
Interesting stuff. Any thoughts on this sea of light that the Tisti-Leosian are trapped in, a la the jade statues? Maybe.
Allah, the city of glass.
Whoosh, who knows?
Oh.
Any of this could be anything.
That's a connection I did not make, Josh. That's pretty interesting.
Yeah, well, anytime you're
So wait, are we saying there's jade elves coming from space? We little green men coming from space? Is that what we're saying?
Yeah, well, first off, these short kings don't need your disparaging comments. So
Machine elves.
Machine elves. There we go.
Elves.
Yeah, it's just weird. I mean, also, actually, pause. I want to wrap the Sandalith stuff into here real quick. We've met Orphantal.
Mm-hmm.
Who is that?
Yes, you have met Orphantal.
I can't remember. Is Orphantal like is he the fucking dragon of stuff that gets rid of magic?
Otatral? No.
Otatral? No, it's not. Okay, well, how we've met Orphantal? Can you remind us, Peter?
Orphantal.
Was he the undead guy last book?
No.
I was so excited for a second.
Damn.
Orphantal, you did meet him on Genebacchus.
Oh, he died. Was he someone's brother who like fought
Yes,
someone?
you're getting there.
Did he fight off Calor? Was that Orphantal?
No.
Someone's brother.
It's oh my god, it's the one that was Misky Jack's girl. Well, Kurlat. Was it Korlat's brother?
It's Korlat's brother.
Korlat is fucking Sandalith's daughter?
Yes.
Wow. There you go. We did it.
That's crazy.
Wow.
Her last name, Josh.
What's her last name?
Dracorlat. Sandalith Dracorlat.
Sandalith Dracorlat.
Ah.
And then her daughter's name is Korlat.
Yeah, I didn't catch that.
Yeah, this was so
He gave
Josh,
you
I
the
don't know
whole-
if you remember.
Peter, is this the moment that you finally learned of this connection? Like, is there any other way to know up until
Josh,
this point?
You crushed it. I think you should feel great. This is the one thing I spoiled for the two of them.
Yeah,
really?
a year ago, Pete said something while you were like away eating pizza, and we brought up Sandalith, and Pete was like, Sandalith's daughter. You're like, who's that? And then Pete was like, think about their last name. And India cracked it, and then Pete immediately regretted it.
Incredible.
And so I put that at the end of the episode because I knew you wouldn't listen to it.
That's so good, AJ.
That's hysterical.
So,
Yeah.
Josh, you were going, and I was like, Josh, you're the only person on the pod who's figuring this out right now.
I gotta tell you, I
love
didn't
this.
make that connection. So there you go.
This is great.
I'm proud of you, Josh.
Having a good time.
Thank you.
I don't know.
Wow.
I don't know where to go with this now. Oh, what's up with this sword? Was this Hust sword?
Hust sword.
Is this and it's one of Ruin's swords? Is this the sword that Rulad used? I put that in the summary because a sword washed up on some island with Withel that was like this worn, jagged old sword. That'd be crazy.
I don't think so.
Let me Google Hust sword real quick.
Cause Withel didn't Withel destroy that sword? I love this method of not seeing spoilers, Josh. It's just like putting your hand in front of your face.
Okay, I don't want to read anymore. I don't think I'm right though.
I don't think so because I wasn't that like the end of Reaper's Gale was Withel going back to that island and destroying
he did
the
break
sword?
that sword. You're right. He did break that
Yeah.
sword. Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Which is an interesting parallel to Caladan Brood trying to break
Yeah.
what's it called?
Yeah. I mean, it sounds like Yida and Derek thinks if he finds the sword, he'll be able to slash open the sea and let the Tisti-Leosian out.
Yeah, sure.
That's what I wanted to bring up. How is it that we've met literally the god of the Tisti-Leosian and that god's son, and they've never talked about their sea of kin who are fucking being tormented for all time?
If I remember correctly, they're both kind of shitheads.
Yeah.
But that might just be me making that up. I'm pretty sure that's true though, because I'm pretty sure.
Well, the one guy was like one of the people under Felison, and he was cool.
He was fine. He was okay. Laoric was okay.
Oh, Laoric,
and then
that was his name.
His dad, Osiric, and then a third name I think that we heard this book.
Yeah.
Is like a bad dad. I think that's like his character trait.
Yeah.
Is like he sucks. So I think they're probably not worried about these people.
That's all fair. It's all fair.
Yeah.
Any other final thoughts on this section other than it's cool that Mother Dark talked to Withel?
No, that is cool.
Yeah. Do we agree, like, Sandaleth's got to be, like, royalty, like Tisty Andy royalty, right?
Well, the card said she was something.
She's Queen of Darkness, right?
Yeah,
It's gotta be.
Yeah.
Gotta be. All right. Let's move on to, I guess, the final section, which is the Barghast. I don't think there's anything else.
Oh, sorry. No.
that's it.
Sorry. We need to pop back really quick to
okay.
the hive where we see Sulkit transform from a little guy into like a longer guy.
Yeah, well, we've known they can all do that. Like, they all just, like, with the right combination of pheromones, they become any of the billion types of Kachane Jamal.
Yeah, but we've never seen one just like do it.
Well, yeah.
He just
You're
like
not wrong.
It just like did it. It was like at the controls of the fortress or whatever.
became-
And then
what
when
was
the
it?
next time we see Sulkit, they're like, oh, Sulkit's different now, actually.
He's like a Jahan Sentinel or whatever.
Something like that. Yeah. So that was pretty sick. Anyway.
And the fact that he's still there and doing the Kachane Jamal shit is why I wonder if that's how Akarium's going to get access to this warrant or something.
Oh my God, Akarium's gonna roll up in a fucking Moonspawn style fortress.
Oh, yes.
Fuck,
What's
dude.
that? He's a matron. Give it to me,
man.
Akarium matron.
We just see
please.
Akarium start shitting out.
Mommy.
Mommy.
Okay, I hated that. Do we want to any other parts of this we need to touch on? Or
No, sorry. I wanted to make sure that we talked about that. So Barghast time, baby.
Barghast time. Not this enemy, not this war. I'm going to reveal I have tattooed that on my chest.
Nice.
Done it myself.
Not this enemy, not this war.
Yeah. In terms of like things I read in the fantasy book, that one's up there. That's really good.
Mm.
And especially considering I don't give a fuck about any of them. And still, cool line.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Wow.
I was really hot on that.
Yeah.
India, did you enjoy that all the people in the battle died so that we could just be done with it?
Yes. I thought you were going to ask me if I enjoyed it. No. Did I enjoy everyone dying? Yes.
Yes, 100%. And so this is, correct me if I'm wrong, is this the first time we've seen this far into... Do we think this is the same thing that's killed the other groups, or do we think this is a different thing? Because I don't remember there being cold before necessarily, you know what I mean?
This is different because we know the other cloud was Naruk, and
Right.
those are actual dinosaurs.
Yes, the short-tailed Kachane Chamal.
Right.
And this was just like a cloud of cold, but
yeah,
then
this is some Jaghut shit.
it could be some Jagged shit. Draconis, though, not a Jagged.
Hood, though, is
though,
Jaghut and
yeah.
was in the sword. So
That could be. Could be.
maybe?
Yeah. Still very confusing. Would really like to, when we find out what the storms are, I may like go back and just track like, okay, this storm is that and this storm is this. Because
Josh playing weatherman.
Exactly. Because so far it's impossible. It's inscrutable to figure out what each of these things are.
Mm-hmm. We have a Naruk front from the south, but a cold front from the north.
Yeah.
When they collide, what will happen?
Draconis.
Draconis, yeah.
Yeah. What do we think, by the way? Do we think Strahl and the Sanan have survived? Are we going to have one contingent of loyalist Barghast to join up with the Malazans, or where are we at?
Do you want that to happen?
Well, I mean, of any of them, I would take the Sanan. Of any of them, I guess, you know. Do you think the ones that were like, that left the battle early, do you think they've survived? Or do you think they
Yes.
beefed it in the cold?
No, they didn't beef it in the cold. They survived, and we will see them again in the middle of the next book. You've heard it here first.
Yeah, you know what? I like that called shot.
Thank you.
Do you think
What's
maybe
that? Oh, but then what's the dynamic there of fucking Hatan and Tool's kids if they end up there again?
Probably
You
bad.
know,
Probably bad.
yeah.
Which means
'Cause-
it will happen. We will see that.
I don't know. I guess there's a way that it could be handled where it was like satisfying, but part of me is like, what is the arc there? Is it like, we can't be a part of these people? They like tortured and killed our mom and dad. And then Talk being like, no, it's fine.
Yeah.
And then being like, okay, like what's the...
Well, exactly. Like I feel like it's such a weird, nuanced situation that I really feel like we have to see it now. If
Maybe.
they
I don't know.
survive.
We've only got one book left.
I'm going to say the same thing to you that I told to... Did I say on the last episode about the 350 pages thing?
Maybe.
You shared it on the pod.
Okay, yeah, same thing there. We've read 3 books so far in this one book, basically. Like, we have 5 more books to go, it feels, AJ. Anything could happen.
Yeah, okay, fair enough.
And then we get to it. Of course, Draconis erupts from the earth.
Of course.
What else would happen? I mean, he was name dropped at the beginning of 2 chapters ago when the other gods met. You can't just say Draconis and then he doesn't show up, you know?
My invite got lost in the mail.
Yeah.
In the mail. M-E-M-A-E-L.
Oh.
So,
That's funny.
thanks.
Good one.
Thanks.
I liked that.
Great joke, AJ. Loved that.
Hey, thanks so much.
Keep that in the pod. Yeah, Josh, I mean, I fully agree with you. It these later books are paced slower for sure.
Yeah.
And there's also just like a lot, I feel like there's a lot more scenes that are like character scenes or like scenes about an idea and not always plot moving forward scenes. Like there'll be several scenes of like people walking a place.
What's really good is that I can say that Gardens of the Moon, you know, it's a pretty straightforward book. It really gets into the business. And someone reading that book for the first time would murder me for
Call
saying
you a
that.
fucking crazy person.
Yeah.
But I gotta tell you, like going back to Gardens of the Moon after reading 3, 4, and 5, I was like, man, this is a breeze. This book makes so much sense.
Yeah.
The only plot line I can think of that really has a travel log or like a kind of what I consider a more common later Malazan plot line is the Lorne walking and
tools sometimes
Tool,
popping up. Yeah.
and like kind of her reflecting on her mortality and do you know what I mean?
God, what a good storyline in that book, huh?
It's one of the best ones in the book for sure. All the other ones aren't really like that, you know.
I think we're at the end of this one. That wraps up. What's that book 3 we've wrapped up of
Book
this?
3 we've wrapped up. Next
Book
episode is the beginning of the end.
Beginning of the end of the end of the beginning of the end.
Yes.
Right. Well, no, Pete, actually, you told us not to think about these as like one big book. So
you're right. They're not 2 books. In fact, it's kind of crazy. It's one book. I don't know if you know that.
I'm gonna go now.
Me too, actually. I'm
okay.
Yeah.
Wow. Really, I guess the joke didn't connect on this particular Skype call.
So
this wasn't it for you.
This has been the 10 Very Books podcast.
Is this how we end the show?
This is how I'm ending the show because I was the host today.
Very Big Books podcast.
It's been the 10 Very. This has been our podcast about these books that are big. We hope you enjoyed it. AJ is going to do the official thing now.
yeah.
But as has become tradition, when I say come, you say passion. Come.
Passion. Hello, everybody. Producer AJ here, fresh off a 10 Very Big Books business weekend. Thank you so much for listening to this episode of the podcast. If you'd like to give us your thoughts or feelings about this or any of our episodes, you can always email us 10verybigbooks@gmail.com, tweet us at 10verybigbooks, or you can head on over to our Discord, bit.ly/VBB Discord. That's capital V, capital B, capital B, capital D, Discord. That link will also be in the show notes. Thank you to all of our wonderful patrons over on Patreon. If you'd like to financially support the show, you can head on over to patreon.com/10 Very Big Books. That link will also be, you guessed it, in the show notes. And as always, thank you so very much to Dan Gesrick for making our spectacular cover art. You can follow him on Twitter at @A_W_Dan G for the hottest Fanatics sportswear Monopoly takes. Thank you as well to resident D&D party member and tarot card drawer Scout Wilkinson for the special art she will be providing for this season. You can follow her at twitter.com/humblegoat. And of course, the wonderful music in today's episode, including the remixed intro and outro track, is by the one, the only Amaranthan from his album Simulant Rain, which you can find along with his other music on bandcamp.com. Links to their pages will be in the show notes, and 10 Very Big Books will be back in 2 weeks on February 17th, talking about Dust of Dreams, chapters 19, 20, and 21. I'll talk to you then, and thank you so much for listening.
So in the shake, Carcanis, how did you feel about?
I'm just gonna be right back. You just wait. My laptop is at 1%.
Okay, this is a real. I thought this was a really good exit.
Oh my God.
she can't just keep getting away with this.
Yeah.
Can't keep getting away with this.
Always doing this. Just letting the laptop run.